Isn't it so frustrating when you put so much work into wash day only to have your curls looking dull, dry, and frizzy by day 2 or day 3? In this video, I'm going to show you a super long lasting wash day routine, how my hair holds up throughout the week, and share with you some tips for keeping your curls hydrated longer. And I'm also going to share some reasons why your hair might be drying out. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Gina, and here we make videos all about naturally curly hair. I love simplifying things for beginners, talking about the science of hair, product ingredients, and really helping you problem solve with your curls so that everyone can achieve healthy hair. I also wanted to thank Curlsmith for partnering with me for this video. They're one of my favorite hair brands. They're one of those brands that I always go back to whenever I really need a good wash day routine and one that's going to be very long lasting and isn't going to let me down. They currently have a 25% off sale going on their site, so I just had to include that because I know you all are always looking out for a good deal on Curlsmith products. So they have 25% off from February 10th through the 14th. So you've got a couple days to take advantage of that sale. But if you're seeing this after that sale, or if the products that you want are not included in that sale, you can always use my 10% off code on your first order. I will have that linked down below. So let's go ahead and get started with this super long lasting wash day routine. So first we have to make sure that our curls are free of buildup and product residue. So I recommend clarifying a couple times a month for a really good reset. Today I'm using the Curlsmith Detox Kit, which comes with a primer that you use as a pre-shampoo step to help detangle the hair and help prep it for clarifying, so that way clarifying doesn't dry out your hair. And then I'm going in with the Wash and Scrub Detox Probiotic Clarifying Scrub, which is the clarifying shampoo from the Detox Kit. This actually has a microfine scrub in it to help exfoliate the scalp without drying out the hair. It actually lathers up really nicely, especially if you add some more water. Sometimes I do go in with a little bit more shampoo. So now it's time for conditioner. I'm using the Postbiotic Calming Conditioner that's also part of the Detox Kit. Sometimes I skip conditioner when I'm going to be deep conditioning, but I did want to just go ahead and detangle my hair in the shower, so I'm just applying this all over. This is a really great moisturizing conditioner that is great for all hair types, and you can even use it on your scalp. It's designed to be used on your entire head, even up to your scalp, which is awesome because I love getting some moisture up there. The hair at your roots definitely does need moisture as well. So many people always avoid the roots, but this is not going to weigh down your hair. Next up, we're going to be deep conditioning. Deep conditioning is essential if you want moisturized hair, especially in the winter time. Today I'm going to be using the Curlsmith Multitasking Conditioner, which is a great product to have on hand because you can actually use this as a leave-in conditioner, as a regular rinse-out conditioner, or a deep conditioner. And it contains some low-dose protein, so this is not going to cause any protein overload. It's really good if you just want to get a little bit of protein in your routine. So I usually go with this one if I'm going to be using styling products that have no protein, because it's good to have a little bit in your routine, and proteins actually help your hair retain moisture better, and having stronger hair will actually help to retain the moisture as well. So I usually let this deep conditioner sit in my hair for about 20 minutes, but you can even do as little as 10 minutes if you don't have time. I like to just go do my makeup and then I rinse it out, and then I'm ready to style my hair. So I prefer to style my hair damp, and that just means that my roots have been towel dried, but then I do still spritz the links of my hair with some water. You do need to have that hydration in your hair, obviously, when you want to have moisturized hair with your styling products. So for my styling products, I'm using the Hold Me Softly Style Balm and the Curl Defining Styling Souffle. I'm first applying the Hold Me Softly Style Balm all through my hair, and then I'm going to comb it through. Let's talk about what to look for in your products when you want a super long lasting moisturizing routine. You first need that moisturizing base, which is why we're using the cream first. Your hair should then feel more soft and manageable, and you don't just want to go right in with a mousse or a drying gel. You want to layer your products that helps give you that moisturizing base. Then I'm going to section that off, that way I can more thoroughly apply my gel. So this is the Curl Defining Styling Souffle. This is a medium but buildable hold gel. It contains lots of film forming humectants in it, which actually help to trap in moisture and keep your hair moisturized longer. So it has aloe, it has flaxseed, it has Irish moss, and resurrection flower, which Curlsmith says that that's a desert plant that survives up to 3 years without water. So it's known for its moisture retention properties, which was so funny when I read that on their site because I already thought that this gel was really great at keeping the hair moisturized for a long time, and that just validated that. You also want to look for products that have oils and butters in them. That's also going to help seal in moisture. Oils do not hydrate the hair, as we have talked about before. Oils seal in moisture, so you still need those hydrating properties in your products like humectants and then oils to help seal it. And we'll talk about sealing with oils at the end of the routine. So the next thing you want to look for is a medium to strong hold product like this one. You need that hold to hold the moisture in and also keep your curls from getting frizzy. And you'll see that I'm brush styling, and the reason that I wanted to brush style is because it really helps to just smooth frizz and create curl clumps. One of my biggest tips for having longer lasting frizz protection is create curl clumps. That way the frizz can kind of stay tucked in those curl clumps and you don't get as much frizz on next day hair. Anytime that I create really good curl clumps, I always notice that it just lasts a lot longer. The definition stays in a lot longer because they're kind of just tucked into that spiral so they stay in place. I don't get as much frizz this way. However, I do like my curls to be a little bit more separated because I have low density thin hair, so I don't want the curl clumps to be too chunky. So I do sometimes go in with a comb. This was a trick that I learned in my recent video that I did trying the flip section method, and I really liked it. Or you can just break them up with your hands after, but I do recommend trying to separate them when your hair is still wet. So I felt like I had too much water in this underside layer, so I am just scrunching some of that out with my hair repair towel, and that's just to absorb any excess water. Then I'm clipping up the bottom section and moving on to the middle section. I like to do my hair in about 3 sections, which is good for my hair density, and that way I can more evenly apply my products. So I wanted to try out the technique where you wrap the hair around the handle of the brush, so it still goes through the bristles of the brush, but then at the end it kind of wraps around the handle, or you can wrap it around the handle up at the top, and this just really creates those defined ringlets. It's kind of an easy way to almost finger coil your hair, but it's a lot faster in my opinion. Some people like to brush the hair down with the bristles and then go around the brush handle. I was kind of doing some of both just to be faster, and I found it to be pretty fast and easy to do. And I like to pick up vertical shape sections that are kind of flat. That way it still creates those separated curl clumps and they're not too clumped together. So then I'm just going to continue with the rest of the sections. In the back crown area, I like to take flat horizontal sections, and this is just to help cover my scalp better. My scalp likes to show in the back because I do have low density hair, and this is one of my best tricks to try and cover it. So I like to pick up all the hair right at the crown and brush it straight up and back, and that's gonna give some really great root lift. And then I'm also trying out the technique, as I mentioned, where I separate it with a comb, and that just kind of helps define all the curls at once, as you can see how fast that is. Then I'm just creating a part in the front. I like just a little bit of a part so that way my hair doesn't fall in my face. And then I'm taking the gel and applying it right at my root. I get a lot of root frizz in this area. It's probably new growth, it could be some breakage, but that's another tip if you really want to have longer lasting results, is to make sure that you get your gel evenly applied from root to tip. This is also why I like to apply my gel first and then do brush styling, because I know that it's evenly coated on all the strands, instead of going in after you've already brush styled and trying to just kind of glaze the gel over and then possibly breaking up the clumps. So here I'm just checking the back of my hair with a handheld mirror. This is to ensure that my scalp is covered, and if I'm seeing any of the lines from the sections, I just kind of shake it out and then I scrunch directly at the root. And that really just helps to define the curls right at the root and get more definition and root lift right there. So now I'm ready to diffuse. I'm using my Shark Hyper Air. This dries my hair so fast. So now it's time to lock in that moisture with an oil. I'm using the Curlsmith bonding oil, which is my favorite oil to scrunch out the gel cast. If you apply too much of this souffle, you will get pretty crunchy curls, but it definitely can be scrunched out. So then I just go in with an oil and scrunch it and shake out the roots. So here's how my hair looks after I have completely scrunched out most of the crunch. I probably still have about 20% of that gel cast in, and I did use that oil to help break it up even more. And that's probably my #1 tip, is leave that gel cast in as long as possible. That's really what is going to keep your curls lasting longer, especially if you're styling your hair later in the day, in the evening, or even before bed. Leave that gel cast in, wear your bonnet to sleep or whatever you use to protect your curls, and let that gel cast release as you sleep. And then you can even scrunch it out the next morning if you want your curls to be fuller. But the longer you can keep that in, the better and the more frizz protection that you're going to have. So you may have to refresh your curls on next day hair to revive that moisture. That is completely normal. Not everybody can just go with the products that they used on wash day, because products do evaporate from your hair as the days go on. Now, I was really surprised the last time that I used the souffle with a different curl cream. I kept that gel cast in for like 2 days, and then it really started to soften up by like day 2 or day 3, and I never really scrunched it out. I did kind of fluff my roots, but I never completely scrunched it out. And that gel cast did start to dissipate by day 3, but I think that that's pretty good if it lasted that long, even with sleeping on it, even with wearing it up in my bonnet during workouts. I did 2 workouts during that week and it held up great. But if I wanted my curls to look perfect and if I wanted to get that gel cast back, I could just add some water to refresh it. And that is one of the reasons I really love the souffle, is it's a gel that can be reactivated with water. So I highly recommend looking for that in your gels because that just makes it so much easier to refresh. Also, not everybody can go days and days in between their washes, and that is okay. Everyone has a different moisture cycle in their hair, or the amount of time in between washes that it takes your curls to dry out. And by dry out, I mean the moisture to completely evaporate from your hair. But depending on your environment, how dry the air is, water is going to evaporate from your hair. And it does have a lot to do with porosity as well. So if your hair is high porosity, it's going to evaporate a lot quicker because that raised cuticle layer is not going to seal in that moisture. Whereas if you have low porosity hair, it's a very tightly bound cuticle anyway, so it's not going to release water as easily. I'm not sure if you all have seen the Curly Chemistry YouTube channel, but I'll definitely link her channel down below if you want to check it out. But she has a really great video all about moisture cycles and how to find out what your hair's moisture cycle is. It's a very informative video. She's a chemist, so she has really great insight on how our hair works and how products work. And she talks about how if you're using a very well formulated moisturizer, which is a cream or a leave-in, that's going to keep your curls moisturized longer. But it will get better as your hair improves in health. So if you are currently transitioning away from straightening your hair all the time or bleach damage, if you're growing out any type of damage, your moisture cycle is not going to be as long because your hair is more porous. It's not holding on to that water or that moisture as long, and it's going to dry out a lot faster. So before going to bed, you want to make sure that you are protecting your hair with some type of bonnet or even a silk scarf, and definitely a silk pillowcase. So I personally prefer a bonnet. I just think that it protects the curls the best because it kind of keeps the curls plopped up on top of your head, pushed up to where they stay intact and they're not getting stretched out. This is one that I got from Amazon. It actually has an adjustable band, so if you really struggle with getting one to fit around your head, this is a good option. It is a little bit too much material though for me, so sometimes I will kind of twist it up and just pin it just to make it a little bit tighter, but I love the band. I just wish it was smaller for my hair length. It depends on your hair length. If your hair is much longer than mine or even more dense than mine, this would definitely be a really great option. Another even more affordable option from Amazon, this is a 4-pack, I think, from Amazon. This is just the black one, super comfortable. This is a very comfortable band, but these do stretch out over time. But this is the perfect size for me. I just wish this one was a little bit smaller because it does have that adjustable band. But let me show you how I put it on because it's very easy and quick, and it makes a big difference the way that you put it on. So all I do is flip all my hair over, and then I put my hands inside the bonnet like this, and I hook it around the back of my neck. So as you can see, it's hooked right there, and then I just stretch it down, and then I take my curls like this and press them up like if you were to plop your hair. And this way the curls don't get stretched inside and they don't get wonky. And there you have it. So the curls are tucked away. It's so convenient and nice. So it is now day 2 after doing the super long lasting wash day routine with the Curlsmith souffle, and you can see my hair still has a ton of shine, lots of definition, and there's very little frizz for day 2. I have not refreshed yet. I actually just have my front pieces clipped back with these little claw clips. I like to kind of push it forward before clipping it just so it doesn't get stretched out, and that's really the best way I have found to keep my hair out of my face while I'm working throughout the day, so I'm not tempted to play with it and touch it, which just creates frizz. But I'm actually about to go do a workout right now, and I'm just going to take these clips down and then put my hair up in a bonnet. I like working out with my hair in a bonnet because it's really the best way to protect your curls without stretching them out. If I use a scrunchie, it will stretch them out a little bit and require some refreshing. I do that a lot of times, but when I really want to preserve my curls, I'll wear a bonnet. And I work out at home in my basement, so I don't mind wearing a bonnet during my workouts. But if you go to a gym or if you're not comfortable wearing a bonnet, you can also try a cute scarf or just use a satin scrunchie and just try not to put it up too tight, or you could even do it down a little bit lower if you don't want to stretch out your curls. So final update here, it is now day 4 with testing out this super long lasting wash day routine, and I have not refreshed my hair at all other than adding a little bit of water yesterday, but I have not added any product yet. So this is how it's looking on day 4. I still have really great definition. The shine is still there. It's still very moisturized. If I wanted my hair to really look perfect and more presentable, I probably would refresh today, but I'm just staying home the rest of the week, so I'm not gonna worry about refreshing at all. It is getting pretty frizzy on this side, but that is mainly because I have a habit of touching this side of my hair when I'm working. I've talked about it before, so I usually try and pin it up out of my way, but I still tend to touch it. So that's why this side has kind of fallen a bit and is a little bit frizzier, but this side, I don't touch it all and it still looks perfect. So that just shows, you know, if I leave it alone, this is how it would look, because the more that you're touching it, you are kind of breaking up that gel cast. The main difference I noticed with this routine compared to the last one when I did that glycerin video is for the last time that I used it, I didn't scrunch out the crunch and it definitely lasted a lot longer. Whereas for this routine, I scrunched out pretty much the majority of it on wash day. So it definitely was a lot softer on day 2 and day 3, but I think it still looks really good. It's still moisturized, which is what the goal was with this test. So I just got done with a pretty hard workout. That's why I'm kind of red, but I did have my hair up in a bun, and this is how my hair looks on day 3 or day 4 when I use products other than the Curlsmith ones that I love that keep your hair very moisturized. It doesn't look too dried out or anything like that, but it definitely doesn't look as good as it does when I compare it to when I use the Curlsmith souffle. So you can see it does look dull. It's definitely getting more stretched out, like especially underneath. I did have it up in a low ponytail, and it definitely looks a little bit more dull and just more frizzy in general. So I just wanted to show you that comparison between using other products that aren't the Curlsmith souffle by day 3 or day 4 and how it looks. So gonna go ahead and wash today. So I hope you enjoyed this routine on how to keep your curls moisturized longer. So if you're interested in checking out any of the products that I used in this video, I will have everything listed in the description box below the video. If you just click that little drop down arrow, it'll expand the description box and you'll see all the products linked there. And don't forget about that Curlsmith sale. If you want to save 25% off some of their products, I will have that sale linked down below, as well as my other discount code if you're seeing this after the sale. So if you are still struggling and looking for some more tips on how to extend your wash days, then I recommend checking out this video linked right here on the screen. It's all about how to go longer in between your wash days. So if you're looking to extend that time in between your wash days, then check out that video and I'll talk to you over there.